Hello students. First part or the first two chapter explanation I posted to you through my video. Now the second part we are covering with the soil and water. So soil already you have learned in your class 7th and 6th also I think, and in science also you learn is about soil. Now the first question is in front of us, what is soil? It's very clear to you, given you here in the text also. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. You can learn it to define the soil term. So the uppermost layer of the earth is basically used, and in general we simply learn the soil with that topmost layer. But when we talk is about the complete soil profile, we count or study it as this given soil profile. In that soil profile, you can see that the topmost layer, the top soil is a humus and vegetation, where we can see the green grasses, what we call forest, plants, different type of trees, etc. Second is a subsoil with sand, silt and clay. It's not with much of humus, and you cannot see directly it. In fact, we see directly the topmost layer only. Then third is a weathered rock material, and fourth is a parent rock. The lastmost or the bottom layer is a parent rock with a rock, and this rock is converted into the soil. So this soil profile you have to draw in your fair copy also. Okay, I will give you the question later on. So what is soil and draw the soil profile. So do this answer from here in a neat and clean manner in your copy. Soil formation and factor of a soil formation. When we talk about what are the factors responsible for soil formation, we learn about the two factors, parent rock as also a factor and the climatic factor. So that parent rock, this one means the stones or that the biggest piece of rock converted into soil particles, small particles, and this is because of the climatic factor. Okay, what are the climatic factors? Like the rain, temperature, storm, etc. So whatever the different climatic factors also responsible to convert that parent rock into the soil particles. Beyond it, other factors are also that which type of topography is there, role of the organic material, and time taken for the composition of the soil formation. All these differ from one place to another. So soil also we are having with the different texture or properties from one place to another, right? Why we are having a different types of soil in the different region of the country? Because the soil formation depend on the different type of climatic factors and the some other factors which include the topography and organic material, etc. So accordingly the soil is also, because of the different factors, soil is also different from one place to another. Okay, so here we have given all these factors is given you as the flow chart. It's a very good flow chart is given to you. So flowchart you will also draw in your geography copy. So in that flowchart is given you that how soil is formed. First factor is the parent rock. We determine that the parent rock will determine the color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content, and the as well as the permeability of a particular soil. Okay, as the parent rock in general, as you seen that you also look like your mother and father. So similarly the soil is also having the properties from their parent rock. Relief features or relief factor, where we talk about the altitude and slope determine the accumulation of soil. Third is the flora, fauna, and the microorganism that also affect the rate of humus in the formation, and accordingly the topmost layer will be the more fertile. If there is a good amount of humus, if the land is covering with a good amount of vegetation, green vegetation, accordingly good humus, and accordingly fertility rate will be good. Climatic factor including the temperature, rainfall, etc. Also affect the formation of soil, and time that determine the thickness of soil profile. Okay, that is a short time or a long time. So that the soil formation and factors are given you. These all are the factors of soil formation. Next thing is that we talk about Degradation of soil and conservation measures. So degradation means the deterioration of the quality. So soil is also continuously degraded because of, again we have to remember that the two basic factors responsible for it, human factor and natural factor. Okay, natural factor, you learn that the earthquake, heavy rain, flood, all such type of factors included under natural factor. Human factor is that the maximum constructional activities by using the advanced technology. So this also affecting the soil or responsible for the degradation of soil. Okay, now again we have given the reasons, or you may have a 5-mark question also, that which factors lead the soil degradation. So for this answer we count the 5 factors. So factors which lead the soil degradation are: number 1, deforestation; number 2, overgrazing; number 3, overuse of chemicals; rainwash, landslides and floods. You clear the meaning of each term heading. Let's discuss. Number 1 is deforestation. Deforestation means cutting of tree. डिफॉरेस्टेशन बेसिकली क्या होता है, स्टार्टिंग पे आपको बताया था चैप्टर के, वहाँ एफॉरेस्टेशन हमने पढ़ा था. सो डिफॉरेस्टेशन इज कटिंग ट्रीज और disappearance of trees. So cutting trees continuously surely affect the soil degradation. Maximum number of trees will be there, then it will be help to tight the soil. But there is a very less number of trees and very destructed in a very distance, then soil will be as in a loose form and it will be easily eroded. So deforestation is an important factor for soil degradation. Second is overgrazing. If animals are continuously overgrazing, or the green grass areas, if they are continuously overgrazed, then there will be a desertification of the land, which again cause the soil degradation. Number 3 is overuse of chemicals. So we are using the at present time modern methods of farming, in that we are using the chemicals for the growth of plant as well as using the insecticide and pesticide. So it anyhow for the long term reducing the fertility of soil, and we can say that reducing or destructing the quality of soil also. The soil quality is also continuously degraded because of these chemicals, use of insecticide and pesticides. Fourth is a rain wash. You can consider if there is a heavy rain, that heavy rain or continuous rain for many days surely will cause soil erosion, and it is again causing the soil degradation. Landslide and flood, similarly, if the flood will be in a very speed form or in a great slope, then it will cause the landslide. Landslide in itself will causing the land degradation, and flood is also again erode the topmost layer of the soil, which is the most fertile soil. Okay, so these are the 5 factors which anyhow lead to the soil degradation. Here again, after that we are talking about that the how the conservation could be done. सो इस सॉइल को बचाने के लिए या उसके कंजर्वेशन के लिए क्या मेथड लिए जा सकते हैं. First is shown to you the mulching. So in that mulching process, what is that? The parry ground is between the plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like the straw, which help to retain the soil moisture. Straw fill कर देने से क्या होगा? It will anyhow maintain the soil, and soil erosion during the heavy wind, dry wind, it will reduce. Counter barrier stone, we can make the big walls by using the stone. Grass, soil are used to build the barriers along the counters, and in this way the trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect the water. Okay, and that water can be used for other purposes and stop the soil degradation. Rock dam, rocks are also built up to the slope down the flow of water, and this prevents the gullies and further soil loss. Means gullies or we can make the such type of rock dam also. यानी जो भी लैंड है हमने जगह जगह पर जहाँ पर पानी फ्लो से आता है और मैक्सिमम वाटर फ्लो रहता है, we can make some particular diggings could be there, and that shallow area will be filled with the water during the rain. So in this way it is working as a gullies and pulleys also. So this prevent the gullies and further soil losses also. ओके यानी वो पानी इसमें भर जाएगा. एक रॉक डैम हमने बना लिया, आर्टिफिशियल डैम हमने क्रिएट कर लिया, तो पानी उस डैम में भर जाएगा जिससे सॉइल इरोजन भी रुकेगा सडन एंड नॉट फॉर द लॉन्ग टाइम. इट मे बी if there is a continuous heavy rain or the heavy flood, तब तो डैम क्रॉस हो जाएगा, बट छोटी छोटी हल्की रेन के ड्यूरेशन पे और जिस लिमिट तक वाटर फिल हो सकता है, then in that limit soil erosion or the soil loss could be prevented. Terrace farming, in this picture you can see that this is the common practice of the mountain parts, hilly areas where the farming cannot be done as in a plain area. So stair wise the farming is done there. This is called the terrace farming. So in the terrace wise the soil cannot be easily erode. Then intercropping means crops are shown in a alternative rows and are shown in a different time to protect the soil from the rainwash. Means within a single sowing period 2 or 3 different types of crops are can be shown by the farmers, and anyhow it will use the different method and use of water. Counter plugging, so plowing parallel to the counters of a hill slope from the natural barriers of a water to flow down the slope. It's also helped in the soil erosion. And lastly is a shelter belt. Picture is also shown to you that how the shelter belt work. In the coastal and the dry regions, the row of trees are planted to check the wind movements and protect the soil cover. If there will be no barrier, so these plants are working as a barriers basically. So if there will be barriers, so soil erosion could be as in a stopwise and could be reduced. So in this way shelter belt also reduce the soil erosion. So these following steps could be taken as a measures for the soil erosion to conserve the soil erosion. Okay, an activity is shown to you. That activity you can check and do also. After the soil, water. Water is a very important natural resource for all of us. You know that after the what the things we need to alive, you learn that we first take a breathe oxygen, we need water, we need food. Okay, तभी हम जिंदा रह पाएंगे. So water is very essential. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. What do you mean by renewable? Renewable means which could be renew, जिसको दोबारा बन सकता है जल्दी से, renew हो जाता है, replenishable है जो. So water is a vital renewable natural resource. 3/4 of the earth's surface. You remember that in the starting I told you in overall globe, if I talk about that the 3/4 is covered with water. 3/4 part of the earth is covered with water. यानी maximum part earth का water से ही cover है. But that water is not drinkable. That also you remember. Okay. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. You remember that the class 7th or the 6th also you learn that why Earth is called the water planet, why Earth is called the blue planet also. Because the 72% of the earth is covered with water. So because of this, when we see the earth from the space, it looks like with the blue shade. So that is why it is called the blue planet, or excessive amount of water, it's called the water planet also. So it was the primitive oceans that life began almost 3.5 billions back every day. So water is of course very essential. What is needed, it also you learn it. But when we talk it about the fresh water, water is of course surely enough, but that water is not in a fresh form. Fresh water accounts is only for about the 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs in ice sheet and glaciers in the Antarctica, Greenland and mountain regions. And due to their location, they are inaccessible also. So in this way, only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use, and it is found as a groundwater. Remember that the overall water, if I am talking about that the whole water amount, 3/4 of the globe is water. इतना amount water ही है. But that all is not drinkable. Drinkable नहीं है, pure form नहीं है, usable नहीं है. जो usable है और accessible है, feasible है, we can say that is a very limited amount. Where we talk is about only that 2.7% is only accessible, feasible जो हमारे पास है. And this complete water is also not completely accessible because this pure water, ये पूरा तो pure नहीं है, जो pure है वो 2.7% भी हम जो count कर रहे हैं, this is as in a form of somewhere the ice sheet, as in a frozen form. तो अब उस frozen form को तो हम count नहीं कर सकते. If I talk is about the Arctic ocean, that is most of time as in a frozen form, that water cannot be used. Okay, so in this way that pure form of water is very limited, and in that also accessible water is hardly 1%. ठीक है, जो हम easily available हमें हो जाए, accessible जो है वो कितना है, 1% water is only for our use, and that is as in a form of ground water. और वो किस form में हमारे पास, ground water. That ground water is reached at our home through the taps. वाटर लाइन कनेक्शंस होती हैं, उसके थ्रू पानी हमारे घरों तक आ रहा है. एंड समवेयर वी कैन हैंड द ट्यूबवेल्स, वी कैन हैव हैंड पंप्स ऑल्सो टू एक्सेस दिस वाटर, ग्राउंड वाटर. So this groundwater is basically the pure form of source which could be easily accessed. So in this way water is very essential. Now the fresh water, if the question is that the fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted. In fact, it was as in a changing form. It continuously changed its form. Its total volume remained constant, and its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, the back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation and runoff. And in this way you already know that referred to as the water cycle. That all thing you have learned in the class 7th also. Class 7th में आपको water chapter दिया है, जहाँ आपने water cycle पढ़ा था, that how that water above the sea or the ocean or the river bodies or the water bodies is firstly evaporated, then the formation of the cloud, then the precipitation, बारिश होती है, precipitation is rain, and then after that precipitation again percolate in the land, within the landmass area, or again stored as in a filtrate form, and then we are again use it as in a groundwater as a source of pure form of water. Okay, so that water cycle we are learning. Now the question is that maximum part we need the blank area, blank land area, pure landform area also, but the problem is that most of the land is covered by the settlement of the people, different type of construction of different types of buildings also, and land is also not basically as in with the pure form. It is also mixed with the different type of chemical fertilizers. So accordingly water is also affected, the quality of water is also affected. You have given activity to make you understand that the average urban Indian uses about 140 liters of water every day. A simple example is shown to you. In this way water is very essential, but the problem is in front of us is about the water availability. But this water is not easily available for all of us because firstly the water is very limited. The pure form of water is in a very limited amount, and that is not equally accessible for all. Most of that groundwater is used for the agriculture purpose and for the industries also, and for the generating electricity. Now we are using modern methods of farming, and for in that process of the farming or the agriculture, the big farmers are continuously using the groundwater. They are having their own tube wells or submersibles to irrigate the land areas. In the big industries also using the groundwater to fulfill their water needs, and generating electricity is also water is used. So in this way water is used in a different manners and for different purposes, which anyhow is reducing its amount, and it's surely a question mark because the pure form of water is not abundant form, it's very limited. So problem of water availability. There is a scarcity of water. What do you mean by scarcity? Scarcity means less than need. What is the means of scarcity? Scarcity का simple मतलब क्या है? Less than need. Okay? ज़रूरत से कम हमारे पास जब है वाटर तो हम उसको वाटर स्कैसिटी बता रहे हैं. सो देयर इज अ स्कैसिटी ऑफ वाटर इन मैनी रीजन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. मोस्ट ऑफ अफ्रीका, वेस्ट एशिया, साउथ एशिया, पार्ट्स ऑफ वेस्टर्न यूएसए, नॉर्थ वेस्ट मैक्सिको, पार्ट of South America and entire Australia are also facing the shortage in a fresh water supply. Countries located in climatic zone most susceptible to droughts face great problems of water scarcity. This water shortage may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation. Of the scarcity is caused by overexploitation and contamination of water sources. Okay, so of course water availability is a big problem in front of us at present time, and different reasons are responsible for it. That for the agriculture purpose, secondly continuously increasing population, third is a not proper management, equal accessible water facilities for all. So these different types of reasons are responsible for it, so that water is not available. And you can take the example of your own area nearby to you. You can see that in this area of the Panagar, water is in abundant amount, but at the same near to us, our city, we can see the example in case of Haldwani. The Haldwani is suffering due to the water crisis. That is in sometime the alternative days wise water is provided to the home. So in this way water availability is a big problem, and water is very essential for us, not only for the drinking purpose. Our household activities and our day-to-day activities are also depend on water. So this water is need to conserve. So here we are again talking about the conservation of water resources. Okay, so water resource and the conservation of water resource is must. So text is also given to you, going through the text also this time. Access to the check and the adequate water source is a major problem facing the world today. Steps have to be taken or conserve these dwelling sources. Even though water is renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit. Already discussed this point. Water is available in an abundant amount, and it is a renewable resource also, but the problem is that problem of pollution, that water is not drinkable, not fit for drinking purpose. So discharge of untreated or the partially treated sewage, agriculture chemicals and industrial effluents in water bodies are a major contaminant. The pollutant water with the nitrates, metals and pesticides जो हमारे पास वाटर अवेलेबल है, that is with the different type of nitrates, metals and pesticide, which is very harmful for our health, which cause different type of disease in human body. So most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through water, and water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them in water bodies. So sometimes if I talk about the industries, so the waste of industries is also sometime if water body is nearby, easily it is discharged there, and sometime in the open land area also. So before releasing it, it is better that, and it should be, the strict rule is that it should be properly effluents that should be treated these effluents suitably before releasing them these into the water bodies or over the land surface area also. Forest and other vegetation covers slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save surface. Now here you have given the some method that how we can conserve the water. What could be done for it? What the step could be that forest and other vegetation covers slow the surface runoff and replenish the underground water. So what should we do? That increase the एफॉरेस्टेशन, वेजिटेशन कवर बढ़ाना चाहिए, जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं, एफॉरेस्टेशन. सो नंबर 1 पॉइंट इज इंक्रीजिंग एफॉरेस्टेशन और इंक्रीज द वेजिटेशन कवर एरिया. सेकेंड इज दैट वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग इज अ सेकेंड मेथड. वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग क्या होता है, दैट रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, दैट रेन वाटर शुड नॉट बी वेस्ट, इट शुड बी यूज टू इरीगेट अवर gardens, our agriculture area, and for other purposes also by collecting that water. Another method to save surface runoff. The third is canal use for irrigating field should be properly linked to the minimize लूजेस बाय वाटर सीपेज. प्रॉपर कैनाल अगर होगा तो उससे वाटर सीपेज का इशू नहीं आएगा, एंड दैट द थ्रू कैनाल प्रॉपर वाटर कुड बी रीच टू वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस. सो मिनिमम यूज ऑफ ग्राउंड वाटर शुड बी देयर. And sprinkles effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through the seepage and the evaporation. A process shown to you that if we talk about the sprinkle, in this method water irrigation could be done properly in a best manner. Water को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से use करता है sprinkle method, so that method should be used for the agriculture purpose. In dry region with the high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can be therefore is conserved by the adopting these means of irrigation. So here in this paragraph you have shown that the different steps or the methods to conserve the water or to keep clean the water so that it could be available in future also, right? Next is natural vegetation and wildlife. Now when we talk is about the natural vegetation, we talk about all the forest area, and that forest is with that all different type of forest, including some of them herb shrubs and the dense forest area, less dense forest area, including with the wildlife also. A short story is given to you. So natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that you call, remember, बायोस्फीयर. याद है 7th क्लास में पढ़ा था बायोस्फीयर. सो व्हाट इज बायोस्फीयर? इट इज अ नैरो जोन वेयर द ऑल थ्री hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere interact with each other and creating the survival condition, living condition. It is called biosphere. And this supporting system, and then again in the ahead, biosphere living beings are interrelated and interdependent with each other for their survival and for their need, and this is called ecosystem. That also you learned the last year. Ecosystem. What is ecosystem? You have to learn all these terms. Okay, what is, you will have a question that define the following term. So what is ecosystem? That ecosystem is a system where in that biosphere all the living beings are interlinked and interrelated, or you can write that the interdependent on each other for their survival, and in this way they are maintaining the ecosystem. So vegetation and wildlife are vulnerable resource. Both are depend on each other. We are also depend on the plants for our survival, for the oxygen. Plants provide us with the timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, and protect soil for essential for growing crops, and act as a shelter belt, etc. Now mark a question here. Uses of forest. यहाँ पर आपको 5 marks का question easily मिल जाएगा. Uses of, what are the uses of forest for human? ठीक है, ह्यूमन के लिए फॉरेस्ट के क्या क्या यूजेस हैं आपको यहाँ पर सारे 5 to 7 8 पॉइंट्स दिए हुए हैं. सो ऑलरेडी यू लर्न इन द अर्लियर क्लासेस ऑल्सो क्या क्या ज़रूरतें होती हैं फॉरेस्ट से पूरी हमारी. ये दिस इज़ नॉट अ न्यू क्वेश्चन, इट्स अ वेरी इजी थिंग, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट इजीली. अदरवाइज अगेन इफ नॉट known about this one point, the points are given to you here. Okay, so forests are very useful and essential for our survival also. If I say, it will not be wrong. So storage of the underground water give us fruits and nuts, latex, and same is the continuous. The complete paragraph is telling you is about the uses of the forest. Now this forest is giving shelter to the wildlife also. for the human being, it is providing lots of benefits. At the same time, it is providing shelter to the wildlife also. Wildlife includes the animals, birds, insects and fishes, and number of organisms. Everything will be included under the wildlife, and this wildlife is also anyhow supportive or a part of that ecosystem, and at the same time it is increasing the beauty of the environment or beauty of that nature also. So these are also anyhow having a role in our life and playing a very important role to balancing or maintaining the ecosystem. So that wildlife is also important part of that ecosystem, so accordingly it's very also important. Distribution of natural vegetation. Now, if I talk about the distribution of vegetation, is it equal? No, it's not equal. Distribution of natural vegetation is not equal. Why? Because the topography is not equal, because the climatic factor is also not equal in all the countries, and similarly so many other things are also which are not equal or equally present in all the areas. So accordingly the natural vegetation is also not equal or equally distributed. It is unequally distributed. Somewhere you can see the very dense forest area, somewhere the deserted land, somewhere the very less green grasses, and somewhere only the mat of the green grasses or the big meadows only can be seen. So different type of physical features and physiography we can see, and this is because of the different different physiographic condition or different climatic condition of the region, and accordingly natural vegetation is also different from one place to another place. Okay. Now when we talk about the different type of forest is given to you here, you learn and go through it. Class 7th it is discussed in details. वहाँ आपने detail में पढ़ा था that the different type of forest is. And a very important question you learn is about the evergreen forest. Why the evergreen forests are known as evergreen? Because these trees available in the evergreen forest area not shed their leaves. Trees of these evergreen forest area not shed their leaves altogether, they shed their leaves as an alternative pattern. एक बार डिफरेंट स्पीसीज हैं उस पर्टिकुलर फॉरेस्ट के अंदर में, एक बार कुछ पर्टिकुलर टाइप की स्पीसीज शेड करती हैं लीव्स को, फिर जब अगली की शेड होती हैं तब तक नई में लीव्स आ चुकी होती हैं. सो इन दिस वे कंटिन्यूसली देयर इज अ ग्रीनरी मेंटेन इन अंडर दिस ग्रीन area or in that evergreen area. So that is the reason that the evergreen forest appears evergreen always. So of course that wildlife and natural vegetation is must, very important for all of us to maintain the ecosystem, and that ecosystem is very essential for our survival. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife is very essential, very important for all of us. Different schemes and the government policies are also initiated for it. You have given the steps also, what the steps could be done or taken for this purpose. Government also initiate different type of policy and programs. A collage is shown to you in the next one page by adding the different picture pasted here. Okay, to show you and awareing about the people about the conservation of the natural resources or the wildlife. So in this way that wildlife and natural vegetation both are interlinked and maintaining a great role to maintain the ecosystem also, and that ecosystem is very essential for all of us also. So these are playing very important role. You have given some particular names of birds also, and the parts is also given to you here. So awareing the people is about the different scheme initiated by the government should be followed properly, and as well as to maintain the wildlife sanctuaries or to maintain or to conserve the wildlife. Government initiated different national park and wildlife sanctuaries, as well as the biosphere reserve is also set up so that wildlife could be protected. You have shown in the next page is that the national park, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. And don't mix all three terms. ये तीनों terms different होते हैं बेटा. Okay, what the different is? First is national park. First term is national park, second is a wildlife sanctuary, and third is a biosphere reserve. National park is a covered area, a very big covered area where the animals are free to live in their natural habitat without any interference of human being. National park में एक बड़ी बाउंड्री में उन्हें छोड़ दिया गया है, अपने सर्वाइवल, उनका प्रोटेक्शन वहाँ पर हो रहा है, अपने तरीके से वो खा रहे हैं, ह्यूमन बीइंग का कोई इंटरफेरेंस यहाँ नहीं होता है. Wildlife sanctuaries is also this. All three are the conservation method. While through the wildlife sanctuaries, conservation is done, but here the conservation process moves on with the interference of human being. Okay, for the protection, for looking after a human being interfere there in that wildlife sanctuaries. And in the biosphere reserve, we count not only the vegetation or only the wildlife. In fact, in the biosphere we count the natural vegetation, we count the wildlife sanctuary, or means the wild animals, wildlife also means all the animals, and the water is later on added there. इन सबको ही कंजर्व करने की बात बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व कहता है. So these three are the terms which are initiated by the government for the conservation process. So conservation of the creeks, lakes and the waterlands is very necessary to save the precious resource from the depletion, that is water. There is a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Human activities in several parts of the world have distributed the natural habitat of many species. Due to the indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become the extinct or either was in the extinction. So their protection is required, their conservation is required to maintain this diversity. Similarly, some other awareness programs are also there, like the Van Mahotsav program is also there. In the Rajasthan area, people also shown their own efforts to protect them. So in this way, other programs are also shown or initiated by the government. Wait for 2 minutes. Like with the efforts of the government policy, some organizations are also working for it, and the group of people are also working, like you learn about the Chipko Andolan in the Himachal areas. So in this way people are also showing their efforts. But anyhow, that conservation is must. Conservation of the natural vegetation and conservation of the wildlife, both things are very essential and important, and these are anyhow directly, indirectly relevant to our survival also. Okay dear, so in this way, in this chapter we go through the following points. We learn is about land as an important. First of all, in this chapter we learn land as an important resource, and you learn what you mean by resource. We learn about the land resource. We learned is about uses of land and how it is continuously degraded. Then we talk about landslide, and we learn is about the soil and the soil formation, soil profile and conservation of soil. We learn is about water and the water conservation, and later on the natural vegetation, wildlife, its utility and its conservation. So this is the complete conservation by the government, by the organization and by the self or the group of the people. So in this way, dear student, this is the completion of the chapter. Now in the second part we have completed the chapter. Now after that I will post the question answers to you, and again telling you the all question answers and the pictures and diagram instructed to you, you need to do in your geography copy. Okay, your geography copy is a big practical type of copy, practical size of copy, as you are in practice in the last year also. One side plain rule, so in the plain sides you use for the diagrams and the pictures. So I will post the question answers after that. So go through the chapter, listen all that come attentively, and if you have any doubt, you just mark, and later on during the class you can clear your doubts also. Okay, this is the complete chapter.